you sent me a Reddit post featuring me.
Yep.
What did it say?
I forgot what it said now. I forgot. I sent it to you yesterday too. Hey fans, I can't remember anything. That was from this is this is from 30 some odd years of getting hit on the head. So what did it say?
Well, it was just a really
So
poor.
this is what I said. I said, what the I didn't use a bad word. I said, what the hell? Or because it was about you
Yeah, it was a
and
write-up of a
Undertaker.
video that I'd done on the Undertaker.
Hey, I was best man at Undertaker's wedding, so
Yeah, not that one though. The
I
first
have
one
a
nobody talks about.
I have a history with that. I have a history with that guy.
No, you set him off on the path of multiple marriages, I think.
No, Mark set himself on that path. The first one I actually advised against. Then he looked at me and he says, "Shut up." I said, "Okay." That's so I was there at his wedding.
What about the second one?
I don't. Oh,
Sarah.
I advised him against that one after he was in it.
Did you ever meet Sarah?
His second wife.
Yeah.
Yes, she was on TV for a while,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't know her that well. So, but she never was very friendly to me. I don't think, and I met her. And that's about it. So,
So on my personal channel, like, I read the Reddit write-up of whatever it is. I mean, Reddit's just an absolute, once again, just a cesspool. And it was a bad write-up. And it took a joke that was obviously a joke that I'd said and made it sound like I'd reported it. Because I said that Michelle McCool is going to be co-booker of AAA by the end of the year. It was obviously a joke. It's because the Undertaker's like basically booking AAA, or one of the
yeah,
bookers, or very influential is the word that came up. And like as far as creative direction, which is weird because he's never worked in Mexico. I mean, surely you'd need to know the local customs and whatnot. You never wrestled in Mexico, did you?
no, I refused to go. Well, I had a chance to go, but I didn't go. I didn't want to go because I'd heard Mexico. If back in the late '80s, early '90s, when Vince McMahon kind of just pillaged what was left of the territorial system, business wasn't good at all. So that's why guys were quitting and just doing other things other than wrestling. They had to. And somebody told me, well, you can go to Mexico and do all those miles and you're still not going to make any money. I said, well, hell, if I'm not going to make any money, might as well stay where I am. See, a lot of guys just went just to remain, just to stay in the wrestling business because that's what they knew. But no, I never went to Mexico. Other than I did go to Mexico with WWE, but I was a manager then, and it wasn't that good then. But at least I had WWE behind me, so I knew they would get me back home.
So anyway, I did 2 videos. One pre me being unwell, and then one yesterday. So the first one was basically, The Undertaker sure seems like he's under the thumb of his current wife, Michelle McCool.
Now, this is what you said.
Yeah, this is on the first video. And she's ruining the podcast 6 feet under with formerly Mark Calloway, now it's The Undertaker, because I know that this is going to be a lot Dutch, so bear with me. As far as I can tell, and I actually rewatched his old co-host Matt explain it, this is what I glean from it. His old co-host helped develop the show. The Undertaker, under his nose, sold the rights to the show to WWE and then got rid of him as co-host. That's how I'm understanding from Matt's interview. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
The co-host didn't know this?
No.
He didn't know this.
No, he said they'd recorded a batch of shows, and then at the end of it, The Undertaker says, yeah, I've sold the show. And also, it's the end of the road for you.
Did he get any money from it?
I don't know. Because here's the other thing, because it's a Maven interview. Maven then asked, well, aren't you co-owner of the show? And Matt and this old co-host Matt went, yeah, no, kind of. So basically, what I'm gleaning from it is, yes, he was, but he doesn't want to like get into a legal wrangle with the Undertaker, so he basically let him have it. That's my guess. Because, and I tell you what, that wouldn't be my reaction. I'll tell you that for nothing, Dutch. It wouldn't be yours either, I don't think. If you I don't know, if we went into a business together 50-50 and then we said, and if I just went and sold it from under your nose and then you went, oh, okay, well, you can just keep all the money.
Well, see, all this is new to me too. I didn't know this. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I think Undertaker gave him something. I really do.
Maybe. We don't know. This is all summation at this point, or a lot of it is. So anyway, that was what the first video was. The second video was regarding a different quote. I'm just going to find it for you now. So they were doing...
You're just a heat seeker this week.
I'm a well-prepared heat seeker, if nothing else, Dutch, let me tell you. So they were reading out fan comments, right? Because Michelle McCool as a co-host has been god-awful. Terrible. Awful. I mean, just horrendous. Talks all over Mark. It ends up being like this domestic weird husband and wife interaction, which nobody's asked for. They want wrestling stories, not a bunch of bickering and interior design. And Undertaker, you can tell he's really uncomfortable, or more uncomfortable with the setup. And he was never even very good at podcasting when he had the co-host, really. He's not that much of a storyteller. You'll bring that up in a minute. But then Michelle quotes a supposed mean comment saying that the Undertaker should stop letting Michelle McCool rule his life and, be involved in everything. So anyway, this is what the Undertaker says. So
she is reading things directly from fans' emails.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
He's referring to using his influence within WWE to get his wife work or preferential treatment, right?
Yes.
That's exactly what he's referencing. Michelle McCool was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. I'm of the opinion that The Undertaker, because he basically said it himself, is one of the people who chooses who goes in the WWE Hall of Fame. Michelle McCool magically replaced Mickie James on the WWE LFG reality show that The Undertaker just also happens to be on. And also, Michelle McCool is the replacement host for Matt on the podcast. I mean, The Undertaker's wife replaces the old co-host, yet The Undertaker once again is claiming he has absolutely never used his clout or influence in WWE to give Michelle McCool preferential treatment. And, according to former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr., The Undertaker got wind that Freddie had written a story that involved Michelle McCool losing her WWE Divas title. Michelle didn't like it, told The Undertaker, and The Undertaker got the storyline scrapped. So there's 4 examples there.
Hey, that's life, I would think. But as far as The Undertaker not having any influence, Mark, come on. You were like Vince's son. No, I think he treated you better than his son. But what Mark is doing, he's doing it for his wife. And I love Mark. I've known him for almost since not the day he got in, but I've known him for forever. But yeah, and I think what he's done for his wife is not bad, really. But when he goes out and said, I've not used any of my influence. See, they would have ideas for Undertaker. And I've heard this, and they wanted him to do something that wouldn't be in Undertaker's best interest. And I've heard writers even sit back and say, well, you tell him. No, you tell him. So nobody wanted to tell him. So they just came up with a brand new deal for Mark to do that night. But nobody wanted to tell him because, they didn't want Mark mad at him. And that's the way the wrestling business it kind of works. Don't piss him off before he goes out there, because it could boomerang back on us and him go tell Vince, you need to get rid of those two writers. And I'm sure he's done that too. Hell, I've done that. But I did it to the writer's face. I said, I don't know where you took writing lessons, but apparently it must have been in grade school, because you're the absolute shits at this.
Apart from Triple H, maybe over the long term, I can't think of somebody more influential. I mean, that's what I said. It's like he was like the son that Vince McMahon always wanted or liked.
Yeah, he loved Mark, and it's always been. And I heard this years ago, and I've said this before on this podcast. The Undertaker was Vince's version of himself. He was immortal, and he could keep coming. Looks like he's dead. He comes back from the dead. And when he would do the sit up, and that was, and I don't know, has Vince ever said where he got the idea of the Undertaker?
No, or if he has, I don't know. As far as the Undertaker goes, I think he was just presented with it, wasn't he? So
the Undertaker.
Yeah, I don't think he came up with the character himself. This is sort of bespoke for him.
It was a Vince, and I think Vince, I don't know if he did it by himself or if somebody mentioned it to him. But even if somebody had mentioned it to Vince, he looks at it like, wow, I really like this. And I have heard through the years that it was Vince's vision of his actual self. So that makes sense. Vince is a very complicated man anyway. So if he wanted to have an immortal version of himself, he could have that. And that's what he did.
He can make a bust of himself. Oh, no, that's coming up later.
And made a lot of money along the way with it.
Just to wrap this thought up, aside from Triple H, The Undertaker's got to have had more say in what he was going to do or who he was going to work with or creative or even hirings or firings. I received 2 separate messages from people who personally said that The Undertaker helped either get them a promotion or get them elevated or a push or whatever it might be. Like, his say-so. So it's not like... It's like he's got a huge amount of influence. He's used it, I guess, for mostly good during his career because he's, the ultimate company man. He's taken more than his fair share of losses to people who didn't deserve to beat him. So, it's not like he's the entire point...
Prima donna.
Yeah, he's not like a prima donna or anything. But the fact is that, like, why would he bold-faced lie? While Michelle McCool is sat right opposite him in the old co-host's chair saying that, well, I've never used my clout to, do anything for my wife. I mean, she... Once again, Michelle McCool was not a big star.
You watched both versions of 6 Feet Under.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of clips from both, yeah.
With his original host.
Yeah.
And now with his wife.
Yeah.
Which one did you prefer?
I'm not big a fan of the old one, really. I didn't think The Undertaker was that engaging a speaker, but it's clearly better with the fella as the co-host. But
how much money do you think they're making off the Undertaker podcast, just the podcast?
I said this to you beforehand. I think he probably made per month $500,000.
$500,000
a month, yeah.
So that's making $125,000 a week, just off the podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. No kidding. That's some serious money. That's one day. Wow.
But here's what's interesting that I find, because so many people have ditched the podcast since Michelle McCool has been a part of it, that my video complaining, the original one that I did, complaining about the show and the fall off, got 3 times as many YouTube views as the actual Undertaker podcast. And that's on the WWE channel with 110 million subscribers. It's like, and every single comment without fail is, Michelle's ruining it, bring back the old co-host, this isn't what I'm watching for, etc., etc., etc. But once again, that's not the point. The point is that The Undertaker said that he doesn't use his clout to help his wife attain jobs or curry favour within WWE. There is no way on earth.
Don't forget that The Undertaker is the one who has to go back to the house with her for 24 hours. So
yeah, but he's trying to make it seem like she's got there.
Mark, that thing you said, or that thing that guy said about me, and you didn't say anything. Oh well, let me go and say something. He has to live with her. And I think it's very unbecoming of you to disparage the marriage. I rhymed it up. To disparage that behavior.
Yeah, but it's just like, just say it. Just say, yes, I use my enormous influence within WWE to help get my wife several high-paying gigs within WWE. But he's trying to make it seem like, no, well, she would have just got these gigs on her own. No, she wouldn't. Absolutely. Yeah. She's primarily known for being The Undertaker's wife. And I think on one of the shows, she let that be known how much that annoys her. But it's true.
Oh, what annoys her? That she got the gig because she was Undertaker's wife?
Yeah, like she's not being treated, I guess, on her own merits. Okay. Which if she was, she wouldn't get any of these gigs, is what I'm saying.
Well, she wouldn't be. I'll say this: I don't think she would get the gig if she wasn't Undertaker's wife.